Watch Tranzeet TV right now.
Biar mo na ultimo komentaryo uno. Keep watching Tranzeet TV and stay more for premium content. Otra vez, adios.
So yeah, United fans, you've heard it. I don't know. The question is, this win, is it good or bad for United? You guys still, because a lot of people are saying that if they had lost, of course, the last 2 games, maybe by now they would have fired Erik Ten Hag. But that's if Ten Hag is really. So guys, let's look at United. I don't know. Okay, what did you make of that match?
Okay, I don't know. At some point, he felt like he was a disaster class once more. But then on the second look, you would see a redemptive act from the United players. So I think I still have my problems with Manchester United because it doesn't seem like they have understood what the problem is. You get? Because Manchester United is a club ridden with lots of issues, both on the field and off the pitch. They have lots of issues, and you can range it from the ownership to the managerial to the players, and on-field performance. Lots of things happening at Manchester United. But one thing that actually stood out for them yesterday was the fact that they still stuck together. They still stuck together to get the win, irrespective of whatever was going on. Because how is Manchester United playing a game and their centre back is injured? They had to take 4 tries before they could patch his head. You see that the problem at Manchester United was so innate that they couldn't even patch the head of their player. And it was when the player was out that they considered the goal to Brentford. Yes, the player was outside and they considered the goal. And the coach of the side, Erik Ten Hag, was very furious with the referee. And you would wonder, why is he angry at the referee? What exactly happened? It's the problem of the medics. But that aside, that is an off-field issue. You get. So, but let's look at the general performance of Manchester United. I think Manchester United won that game because the players actually had the will. They had the will to win. Because yesterday we saw Manchester United, motivating themselves to go for it, and it cannot be a coincidence that this is happening when they finally have their traditional striker available.
Yeah.
So Rasmus Højlund, he's missed lots of games this season. He's back and 2 games played. I think 3 games now, and he scored 2 goals. So you would understand how impactful he's been in the team. Yes, Joshua Zexi has been playing, and ever since that first game of the season when he got the goal, no one has seen his shadow no more. So, but you look at all of these things and you will say, okay, I think Manchester United are beginning to get into the groove of the game, but they are still not there. They're still not convincing. So, and they would have, tougher tests as we go on the season. But good one to them. Manchester United have this history of always, turning up for their coach whenever he's under pressure. So, it's no surprise that they won this one. Next game, you will see Manchester United losing, and you're still not surprised. And then when it seems like the coach is under intensive pressure once more, they get to win, and the coach goes on. End of the season, you are back to the discussion: should the coach continue or stay?
Yeah. So Choma, let me ask you, what does
United has a deeply rooted problem that they.
Okay. Choma, let me ask you, what does Erik Ten Hag need to do? What's left for him to do now on that team to begin to impress the people, the fans of United?
He needs to go home.
Really?
He needs to go. Yeah. Man, gotta go home. You gotta go home, try to grow some hair on his head. He has to go. Manchester United is a case of a leaking pipe. You patch it up, it bursts from the same place. That doesn't mean that it's working. It's a club under management. So all those things are doing. If your clothes starts to rip from the inside, one day it's going to come outside. This is an internal problem. is busting from the top of the food chain to the middle, and the splash or the splatter is what we're seeing on the players. If he likes, so let him win his game 10 times or 5 times. It's fluke. He should leave that club. They say they want to give it to Rude. Let's go match now.
Yeah,
Let's try Rude back.
It's not looking likely anymore. Honestly, I don't think because.
But seriously, what has he not done? Is there something we're missing?
No, for me, what I would say is, like, let's dive deep into the game a little bit. I like tactics and players. You know, United have been overrun in the midfield so many times, and that's one of the reasons why they went to go and bring Ugarte, who is a marksman. You know, he's a marker, he's a breaker, and Casemiro, for me, is not disciplined enough to play in that role. He can break, but doesn't really stay in that DM position like that. He likes to move around, and he's lost the pace to recover when he's out of position. So apparently they brought Ugarte to do that job. And Ugarte has his own deficiencies. He cannot pass a ball. He can break, but don't know he can use. So I'm thinking, do you guys think that Ugarte Casemiro combination probably will work for United? At least they have two players in the midfield who have the industry to at least walk and try to win the ball back. Because with players like Eriksen, they can use the ball, but they can't do nothing off the ball. People like Rashford are not willing to do anything extra to come and help their defense, which is for me one of the reasons why United always have problems. I don't know. What do you think about that combination?
I feel like I said earlier, Manchester United has a lot of problems. So, but let's stick to the on-field problems.
Yes.
Now, you've mentioned the midfield. Casemiro is a fantastic player, a world-class player at his peak. When he was at his peak, he was world-class. And he knew exactly what his role was in the team. But then that was at Real Madrid. Moving to Manchester United, Casemiro felt like, I think, when you see Casemiro play, you see a man who knows he's done it all. He's here to, do his thing, be the boss of the game. That's exactly what he looks like at Manchester United. And whenever, you expect him to give extra in trying to stop break attacks or do anything, you see him doing like, oh man, I cannot kill myself, that kind of thing, that kind of attitude. So Casemiro is actually at this age where Manchester United should not be relying on him a lot. And then they've gone ahead to bring Manuel Ugarte, who they expect to be the man to, always throw his body on the line, get the game, break those attacks of the opponents and all of that. But the truth of the matter is that Manuel Ugarte is not disciplined enough to be that man. I can even go ahead to say that he's not even technically gifted enough to be that man. Manuel Ugarte, I've followed him since his days at Sporting CP before he moved to PSG and then eventually to Manchester United. And little wonder he wasn't playing at PSG just at his first season. I mean, I was saying all of this when Manchester United were about to get him. The boy is an okay player, not so much of a decent player, just an okay player. He wants to dive into the tackles and all of that. Most of the time, he's always getting the card to get. So I think Manchester United have a serious midfield problem. But if we peg it down to midfield alone, it would seem like it's only the midfield.
I'm not talking about at least we have to start to function, because one of the reasons why they lose games is most of the time they're overrunning the midfield.
Manchester United do not have bad players. They don't have bad players. But they do not have bad players. They have decent players. But I think what they need right now is a coach who would come with a definite pattern.
They lack structure.
Ten Hag does not have a pattern. He doesn't have a definite pattern. Sometimes you see the players confused, like they don't even know what they're supposed to do. There was a game I was seeing earlier this season, and the Manchester United midfield was looking like a walk in the park. The opponents were literally walking in the midfield. There was no one, taking a mark on them, and you wonder if these players are actually being coached or they are doing, whatever is coming into their head. And you look at Bruno Fernandes playing like though he's playing street football, give me the ball, I do whatever comes into my head. He's a fantastic player, but he doesn't play to instructions. You look at him and, this man is not playing to instructions. So I think they need a coach that would come in and, put in his philosophy, put in this style of football and say, you either do it or you are out of the club. I think that's the kind of manager that they need right now.
Done for Chelsea.
Something like what Mikel Arteta did at Arsenal, something like what Enzo Maresca is doing at Chelsea. You have to either you follow the coach's instruction on how to play or you're out. You get so, and all of these things are part of the things Manchester United should actually look out for whenever they eventually decide to get a new coach. But I think there is no over-emphasizing on the fact that Manchester United needs a new manager.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just that, while they're working on that, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what contract Erik Ten Hag sent out to United that it's difficult for them to get him fired or get him out of the place. Though, if you also look at it very well, you can also understand because in the last 4 or 5 years, they've had about 4 or 5 coaches, and the same thing is still repeating. So at some point, you begin to ask yourself, are you sure it's the coach that is the problem? So apparently, that's where they are now. They're really looking deep to try to figure out exactly what is the wholesome solution to the problem, instead of just firing coaches and coming back to the same point to where it was maybe 6 months, 8 months behind before you had a new coach. So apparently, they're trying to do some wholesome investigation into the situation and go from there. So United fans, you've heard it. I don't know. The question is, this win, is it good or bad for United? You guys still, because a lot of people are saying that if they had lost, of course, the last 2 games, maybe by now they would have fired Erik Ten Hag. But that's if Ten Hag is really the problem. So United fans out there, let us know. Do you think that this win is good or shows that United is back? They're going to start coming back and winning games. Or do you think it's bad for United because nothing is going to change, and which means Ten Hag is going to probably stay a little bit more in the team? So let me know what you think in the comment section, and we'll see you again next time. And ciao.